businesses, this crisis will bring different type of challenges, and every challenge will have to have a different strategy. So one of the challenge would be the change in the consumer behavior. Consumer after this pandemic will have a different level of appetite, different type of product preferences, different type of channels, the preferences of price points, the discount, the channels that it was buying from. Cash conservation will be a very common phenomena that we will see after this pandemic, and not only in individuals but also in the business environment. And your product line, your pricing strategy, your product bundling, the tweaking that you have to do in your product line to accommodate that change will have to be considered. For example, if you're in a food category, the preferences over organic food, healthy food, natural products will see a surge in demand. Therefore, align your product team for that change. See how much you can adopt, how much can you deliver, how much can you fulfill the customer's need in the time to come. So one of the change in consumer behavior will be the expectation from the service and hygiene level from the delivery standpoint. And if you're an e-commerce company, the new era of packaging, the mechanism of deliveries like drone deliveries, contactless deliveries, all of that will be expected. And since the ecosystem defines the level of the service, and that's what customer expects from you, so businesses will have to keep pace with that. So customers will shift from one medium to another and one place to another, right? Somebody's loss could be somebody else's gain. Find where your sweet spot is and see how you can leverage that shift. How can you make it work for you? For example, holidays, vacation will be less this year. So while it could be a bad news for some business, it could also be a good news for you. So analyze how you can leverage that opportunity. How can you leverage customer not moving from one place to another, and how can you be there when they need you? Consumer will move from offline to online. Stepping out of the house will predominantly be for dinners, outings, or experience shopping. Most of the essential buying will happen online. Make sure that your brand is there. Make sure that you're ready for that digital age. Make sure that you're ready for that consumer who's going to come and buy from you in digital space. What do you do with acquisition and retention in this time? Acquiring a new customer will be very difficult and expensive at the same time. So working on your cohort, working on the repeat rate of the customer, see what can you offer him in terms of loyalty, in terms of the service, in terms of a very preferred and a different treatment for your returning buyer. Segment your customer, create that single view of the customer and understand what his preferences are, what channel, what category, what price point, what offers, what payment methods. Try and understand his footprint, analyze, and then see how you can leverage that segment and give him value to come back to you. How do you cope up with this tough time? Well, reduce your expenses, conserve the cash, and see every possible method of optimizing your cost. Think about automation. There are very innovative ways of reducing your expenses. Automation, for example, chatbots, or some automation in the assembly line. So there are different ways for different businesses how do you optimize their costs. Right? Customers have learned to live with less, and therefore businesses should also think about how they can spend less.